Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ZSR and welcome to a wonderful Saturday. Plenty of stuff to go today, but we'll start with an amazing A Link to the Past 100%, no major glitches, weekly race. Upcoming is the next season of the NMG League, and we'll feature the weekly race to showcase the route beforehand. Today, a wonderful, lonely commentator. I hope we find some more soon, but for now, thank you so much and have fun secretly, Silver. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for putting this restream on. As Trez said, this is Link to the Past, 100% item collection, no major glitches, and no save and quit. So we will be getting going shortly, and this, as most Link to the Past speedruns, will start with the escape sequence. There's gonna be a good bit of pumping, but and normally escape is 6 minutes of, the boring same old stuff, but this one has a bit of a difference. We're gonna as compared to any percent NMG. So anyway, I guess I should explain. So 100% doesn't necessarily mean every single chest in the game. It just means you need to get every single thing that's in your menu upgraded to its highest thing. So you have to have the red boomerang, you have to have the mirror shield, you have to have the gold sword, silver arrows, etc. Must be upgraded to the highest possible tier that you can get, and you have to have all 4 bottles as well. But what we will not be getting is maps, compasses, unneeded small keys or big keys, stuff like that. So we will be leaving some stuff behind. So even though the category is called 100%, we only end up doing about half of the chests. Alright, so the first half of Escape here is going to be much the same if you've ever seen a Link to the Past speedrun before. It's going to look very familiar up until the boomerang room. So in this run, we do not grab the blue boomerang in Escape, and there's only one reason for that, and that's because the red boomerang is a dynamic item. So the red boomerang, if you have picked up the blue boomerang, the only way to get the red boomerang is to go into the waterfall fairy outside of Zora area and toss it into the pond, talk to the fairy, she gives you the red boomerang. But if you do not pick up the blue boomerang, then the red boomerang is in what we call the brewery chest in the Village of Outcasts. So that's why we're going to skip the blue boomerang here. Because getting one chest out of one thing is a lot faster than having to throw the boomerang in the waterfall. So we'll even do this room a little different. We're gonna tink the door to alert the guard over so that we don't have to walk all the way to the edge of the room. You do it different in any percent because you're picking up the boomerang. You can just throw the boomerang at the key, but as I just explained, we can't really pick up the boomerang here. Alright, I see some ball and chain, and yeah, you can see the lack of boomerang there on Humbug's side. Normally you would just boomerang that guy and go about your day, but unfortunately since he noticed Humbug, you gotta get rid of him. You gotta just slash him, or else he'll follow you all the way over to ball and chain and kind of ruin your day. There's another dynamic item, the lamp. The lamp is in one of 3 chests. This is the fastest one in NMG categories. The lamp can be in Link's house, in the secret passage chest beside the uncle, or in that chest Zelda cell. You must collect the lamp in order to move the shelf in order to rescue Zelda. The question in chat, 100% is making sure all the items are picked up. Essentially, yes. you just need to fully populate your start menu and make sure that your bottle submenu is also full. And it's not required, but it's tradition at the end of the run to reset your console, show your start menu, and show your bottles. So I will ask after the race if they can do that. All right, Bag of Escape gonna be very similar to any percent, except you don't have a boomerang. So there, Humbug got bad RNG with the rat coming at him. So he just has to sword swing to take it down. Yeah, there are a lot of rooms here in Escape that, like, me just learning, coming from any percent and learning the 100% route, that I really miss the boomerang in some of these rooms, because slashing everything is just so slow. Okay, really good key rat pattern for Humbug. Oase had to adjust a bit for it. So I guess a little bit about these runners. Oase has been running 100% for a few weeks. I guess, and Humbug has as well. But Oase just recently put up a 141, which is the same minute barrier as the world record. So I think so. I should check that. Alright, so Oase being on half a heart is really going to help him here. So his text is going to scroll a lot, or he's going to be able to confirm. Yeah, same minute as SRC world record. Thank you, Chex. So yeah, Oase is knocking on that door. He also has a 123 in any percent, which is also very high up the leaderboards. Humbug has, I forget his exact time, but it's a 124 something in any percent, and looks like 143.57 on his timer. In 100%. We're walking to Eastern here, and this overworld here is another screen that I really miss the boomerang on, but because if things get in your way, you just have to slash. And we're just gonna do this dungeon normally. They both slashed the Popo there. I think they were hoping for rupee drops. So normally in Eastern, you might see a runner kind of aggressively go after those rupee drops to try and get some good drops, so they don't have to get so many rupees later. In this category, we don't really need rupees later. We're gonna get 100 from Sahasrara, and after that, we need to find 10 somewhere. So Humbug having that 5, and he can pick up another 5 in Desert. So he is good on rupees. Oase is gonna have to find another 5 somewhere. Now, there is a pot in Castle Tower that you can get for your other 5 rupees, but nobody really wants to do that. You'd rather get it from a drop. Okay, very nice damage boost on both sides there. I think they got the exact same knockback, which is pretty cool. So that works by so every time Link gets hit, he's put into invincibility frames or iframes, so he cannot get hit again for a short while. So we kind of exploit that by intentionally taking damage, putting him into iframes, and sneaking our way to that button so that we don't have to kill everything in the room. One thing that I don't believe was mentioned yet is that, so why are we putting this on today? Well, the Link to the Past community does what is called NMG League a few times every year, where runners will, it's normally any percent NMG, runners will submit a run in a certain window of time, and then they're sorted based on those qualifiers into different brackets, and then we all race each other and hopefully get some PBs. And yeah, so that is starting, but instead of any percent this season, we're running 100%. So that's why we're here. I believe submissions for NMG League closed last night, so these runs will not be submitted, but just good practice for both runners, and you know, just a fun thing for us to do on a Saturday afternoon. So slight difference here from any percent. Normally you would just walk up to Saha and talk to him. These runners both kind of went to the right of Saha because you're going to the back anyway. So just make sure you get that little micro movement in so you don't stick on the sprite on the way past. And of course, we are playing on the Japanese 1.0 ROM in all its glory, so we'll be able to see some Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitches, including the one you just saw, which is called Super Speed. Specifically, that setup is called Spin Speed. If I explain how to do it, it's going to sound hard, but it's really not. It's just pressing two buttons very close to each other. Now we see two more spin speeds here. Alright, so just as normal, we're gonna get the book and go to Desert Palace. Oh, you do a spin dash, then you get spin speed, okay. How do you move the buttons closer to each other? Well, I know you're a very handy person, so you might have to take a saw to your controller. Or you could build a hitbox. Of course, Chex has an emote for that. All right, so we're gonna go into desert, and it's gonna be mostly normal. It's gonna mirror any percent pretty closely, but with two minor differences. We need to pick up the heart piece on the ledge here. So we will do that between Desert 1 and Desert 2. And then after Desert, we're gonna go visit our buddy Agina, which I think in canon is Sahasrah's brother. He was just hanging out in the desert, mostly to give the lore hint to Link that the Book of Medora is in the library. But also there's a heart piece in there, so we will grab that afterwards. An odd smoothness to Owase's stream. There is a bit. I don't remember what system Owase plays on, but yeah, his stream settings are definitely high quality. I know he's on some sort of console. I don't remember if it's an SNES or a Mister, though. Alright, and coming up on one of the big first roadblocks to any NMG runner, which is the Lammolas fight. We don't really have a much better weapon than the bow for this, and you have to shoot moving targets 12 times in order to kill the boss. Owase with a very good first cycle, but unfortunately some misses there. Ooh. Is he gonna 2-cycle? Oh, let's go. Okay, I think Humbug somebody can check me on that. I think that was a 2-cycle on Humbug's side, which is pretty much the best a human can do. And Owase, unfortunately, with those couple misses, is stuck with a 3-cycle. Still very, very good, though. Alright, and now we're lockstepped. We're gonna visit our buddy Agina. And you saw that they menued to bombs during the Lammolas fight. That is because while the pendant is dropping, you can use your menu, and the pendant will continue to drop to a certain point, basically for free. So it lessens the impact of having to menu. Normally, the menu takes half a second to appear and half a second to disappear, but since you're pairing it with the pendant drop, it takes you can save time menuing like that. All right, and we just saw Link swimming. We like faking it till we make it here in Link to the Past lands. So that glitch is called fake flippers. So basically, if you land in the water but you transition the screen before the game checks if Link has flippers or not, then it just lets you swim. Just assumes that the answer is yes, And it lets you swim. Oh, and Humbug got the quick... I think they both got the quick toss. So the reason that they did that movement there was to bait that bird in a certain way so that they had time to pick up the rock, but then the bird would hit them so that they don't have to toss the rock. So that's just a little micro optimization. Alright, now every Link to the Past runner's favorite screen. We got falling cabbages, we've got dead rocks, and we've got a lost old man who has a mirror in his pocket. Not sure that mirror's doing too much for him in a dark cave. I think you need light for mirrors to work. Alright, so both runners choosing to get this heart piece the traditional way. So the speed strat for this is to just go into the upper cave and hover across this gap. But these runners are taking the safer route, because if you fail that hover, then you lose a big chunk of time. Alright, we pick up this heart piece. And one of the downsides to not having a boomerang is you can't do the swag strat in this room, but what you can do is just place a bomb right here, and then that will automatically menu you to the lamp, which you need for the next puzzle. Oase loves this pot. I guess he just likes to stand there. So we place the bomb there to get what's called a coffee break. So you place the bomb, run over to the flaps, the bomb hits the switch, and then this just puts links into perpetual iframes until they move off of it. So once the... Okay, I see why Oase had that pot now. He wanted to throw it at the last tile to kill it a little faster. Alright, and then we get our bomb back here in this room. Very nicely done on both sides. Alright, now we come up to our first bomb jump of the run. So Oase is doing what's called an early bomb jump, where you place the bomb super early. Kind of take a bit more of a risk, but it gets you to jump over a little earlier. Humbug going with the traditional spin setup. So what the spin setup does, while Link is spinning, the game won't allow him to fall, but it will put him on the last pixel of the pit where he won't fall in, and then the damage from the bomb will boost Link across. And let's just pray for no falls. Okay, Oase takes care of the Moldorm. Ooh, that was close. And voila. Moldorm down for Humbug. right, so now we have all 3 pendants, and we can go pick up the Master Sword and pick up a heart piece that's nearby. And then we go kill a wizard. So normally you would see a runner pull this tree for the rupees that grow on it, but in this run we don't have to do that because we already got the money from Sahasrahla and from a drop. Looks like Humbug going for the pickle shot. Gotta respect that. That pickle tends to not cooperate to do that strat very often. I'd say it's about 50% whether you can pull that off or not. I wonder if he read something that told him that was going to be in the way like that. Alright, first ped pull on Owase's side, followed shortly by Humbug. Looks like Humbug has the longer arms today. Right, and we are required to pick up the mushroom in order to turn it in for magic powder. Which is fine because when you skip the mushroom, that dash becomes very dumb, and I hate it. Wizard of Oz? Well, he is behind a curtain. So I can't disprove that he's the Wizard of Oz. Wase taking a bit of a risk there, but getting good RNG for it, so saving a little bit of time there. Or if, yeah, so Humbug's gonna do the safer strat. You're only sacrificing like a handful of frames doing it like that, and it's 100% safe. Aghanim did nothing wrong. He literally killed the king. Alright, so you saw Wase do something a bit odd there. He did 2 beams to the guards before charging through them. That's to set up something for later. So those 2 guards are part of a prize pack that has a fairy in it. And we don't want them to drop the fairy here. We want to save that fairy for Turtle Rock. So if you kill enemies with a dash, they are guaranteed to not drop an item. So yeah, that's what we're setting up there. I always think that's one of the cooler things about the NMG speedrun is that you set something up at minute 28 that you're not going to use for another hour or so. And you saw Owase took a bit of a bop from having to get that rupee, because normally you would get some rupees from this Circle of Pots room, but without the boomerang, that's not really time efficient. So we do that room a bit differently. Just kind of slide to this pot. Unfortunately, that pot missed for Humbug. Alright, anybody got any guesses for how many blue balls we're gonna get? You can do by runner or combined or whatever you want. There are no rules here. This is the SR. 6, 4, 15, 2, 7, 1 and 7, 4 per runner. $30. This guy just wants to see the world burn. Alright, so how Aghanim works, if you're not familiar, so he does 3 different attacks. His first attack is always going to be a red ball, which you reflect and do damage to him. The next 3 attacks are 50-50 between red and blue balls. As I said before, red balls do damage. Blue balls, unfortunately, just scatter into a bunch. Oase already got 2. And the 5th attack is always a lightning attack. So you can't fully not pay attention in this fight. Still have to be able to count to 5, which is actually just impossible some days. Alright, I lost count for Oase. Ooh, was that? I think that's 0 for Humbug. I forget if Oase has 3 or... Okay, so he had 4. He had 2 and 2. There we go. Okay, so 0 for Humbug. And pairing with that 2-cycle Landmo fight, that is an incredibly good Light World for Humbug. Oase actually was in the green entering. He was ahead of his splits entering that fight, and then he got 4 blue balls, so now he's fairly far behind, but we will hopefully have the chance to make that time up. All right, runners, get the heart piece on the ledge. Okay. So this heart piece is one that's really easy to forget because the rest of this split is just done exactly like any percent. So the only difference is that you have to go and get that heart piece, and if you forget it, it's not the end of the run, but it's kind of annoying and it's a time loss to have to go and get it later. And I know in my case, I tend to just like default to any percent muscle memory, and I definitely have forgotten that heart piece a lot. Alright, this is what we needed our money for. We gotta pay this monkey who loves money. I think it's because he's addicted to the potions in the potion shop. So, you know, those ain't free. Alright, good old Palace of Darkness. Odd is one of the more fun splits for me, because it's, like, there's very little RNG that can, like, completely screw over your split. Yeah, Kiki's wasted. Well, he's trying to get wasted. Oh. Humbug taking damage from that bomb, which is less detrimental than it would usually be. Which I guess you have full health coming into here, so it's not actually terrible. It's just time loss. Alright, now coming up on Humbug's side is the only interior pipe clip that we're allowed to do in the NMG rule set. It is called the hammer jump. So what Humbug is going to do is he's going to use the pause menu to put himself on a certain pixel to lay a bomb, and then he's going to use the pause menu again to put himself on another pixel, and perfectly executed. Humbug is gaming. I believe Oase does this a little differently. And taking an extra menu there. Okay. So you saw Oase slashing his sword. That's a type of movement we use called sword buffering. When Link slashes his sword, he stops moving. So Oase was using sword slashes to make sure that Link only moves 1 frame at a time, so that he can get on the pixel that he needs to get on. No drops for Humbug. It's sad. If you saw a little blip on Humbug's stream, don't worry, it's not you. He's playing on the analog Super NT, which has some issues with screen tearing when you're playing on the native frame rate of the SNES. So you'll see that a little bit. Just do not attempt to adjust your set. We are controlling the transmissions. Okay, Turtle Party. Okay, some bad RNG there, but handled pretty well. Let's see if Oase gets good RNG, but unfortunately hammered a bit too early. Alright, Helmasaur King. So here, Humbug is going to arm Spin Speed, which extends his hammer's hitbox, which, if you've ever played Link to the Past and tried to hammer upwards, you know how small that hitbox is. So extending that hitbox is definitely appreciated in this fight. Makes it so much faster. And very well done on Oase's side as well. Both runners putting on a clinic so far. So after Pod comes the first of the very heavy RNG splits. So we're gonna do a little bit of shopping before we get there, but south of the Village of Outcasts is the digging game. So the digging game in Japanese 1.0 works. So there is a heart piece in the digging game that we need to get. That's why we have to play it. So you need, after you initiate the game, you need to dig 25 holes. Is it on the 25th or after the 25th? Someone can put the correct answer in chat. But so I think it's starting with the 25th dig. There is, I believe, a 1 in 8 chance for the heart piece to appear. And that doesn't always happen the first or second or third or fifth or 10th time. So you really have to be on good terms with this game and not yell at it. Treat it nice. Pet the game. So you get some good RNG. And the way that RNG works in this game, we can't manipulate it, at least not by any known method. So we just have to go in and hope that we're fortunate that day. So here's a neat little difference from any percent. So normally in any percent, you would get the shovel here, mirror, dig up the flute, and then let the flute boy play his song until he disappears, and then you can move again. However, this is 100%, so we're going to place the portal in such a way that Humbug can now dig up the flute, but he's still on the portal, so now he gets ported back to the Dark World, which is where we want to be, because there's a heart piece that we need to get out of here. And we skip that flute cutscene entirely. Alright, any guesses on how many dig games Humbug and Oase are going to need before they get the heart piece? 13? 13's high. Dig game usually doesn't go to 13. 6, I have seen 6. So usually good runners can get about 36 or 37 digs in one dig game. So that gives them, what is that? Like 11 or 12 chances at the heart piece. Oh, nice. Only one dig for Humbug. Come on, Oase. Just get on the screen. Come on. Come on. Ah. Alright, well, unfortunately, Oase has to reset the game here. Transition off the screen and back on. This is about... someone can give the correct answer if they're paying attention in chat. I believe it's 38 seconds every time you have to reset the digging game. Okay, only 2 digs for Oase. Which honestly is all you can really hope for in any Hundo run. Alright, so we got our first bottle, now we get the net, and we activate the flute. Go grab the powder. Grab a couple of heart pieces from the village, and then we come up to our second RNG fest of the day. The chess game. So, chess game works. You pay the guy 30 rupees. He allows you to open 2 chests. Hopefully you find a heart piece on the first one. But so it's supposed to be a 1 out of 8 chance for it to be on either chest. However, Japanese 1.0 has a bug in it that that says that the heart piece can only appear on the second chest that you choose. So, unfortunately, in Japanese 1.0, we have to kind of take that bug with all of the other good bugs that we exploit to save time. So I think it's just a flat 1 out of 8 chance every time you play the chess game. And I've seen a lot of chess games. Like, I believe someone just the other day got 40 chess games. I've seen one runner do 71 in a run before. Those are definitely outliers. You usually see it within like 5 to 6 attempts. And of course, Humbug has plot armor, so he'll obviously get it on the first try. Picking up extra bombs there. He probably wants to pick up some extra rupees here as well. He's a little low for where he needs to be. You want at least 300 coming out of here, I would say. Awase is, well, it's a little light as well, so he's probably gonna grab some... Well, he may not. Depends on if he's watching the race or not, and he knows he's behind. He may choose to throw caution to the wind and hope that he just gets the rupees from chess game. Alright, get your guesses in chat for how many times we're gonna have to play the chess game today. Alright, that's one. Two. The range goes as high as it can get. It's just a flat 1 out of 8 chance for it to appear. I think that was number 4. Yes, it is even worse than Egg of Blue Balls. Alright, so there's one on Owase's side. It's making potion money. We will not be getting any potions in this run. Unless that's a callback to Kiki being addicted to the potions, in which case, lol. Yeah, so the first stop after Thieves Town is normally the C-shaped house to the right of Thieves Town. That has 300 rupees in it, but if we get enough, because we had to do a bunch of chess games, then we can be able to skip that house. Alright, and we're... I have long since lost count how many games we've played here. But yeah, it's a lot, and this is one of the huge pain points in 100% is these two RNG spots, because on Humbug's timer you can see he was 35 seconds ahead of his PB, and now he's now his run is basically just dead because he's plus 130 and ticking. So he's already spent over 2 minutes in this room alone. So I explained it before, but I'll do it again, as Humbug is the first to get the heart piece. So it's supposed to be that every time you get a chest, every time you open one of the chests in chess game, it's a 1 out of 8 chance for the heart piece to appear. Japanese 1.0, though, has a bug in it, and the heart piece can never appear on the first chest that you open, so it's a 1 out of 8 chance every time you play the chess game. Expected average is, I would say, from what I've seen, from watching people, it's usually, you usually find the heart piece in about 6 to 7 chess games. But, yeah, it can theoretically just go to infinity. Wase might just max out on rupees here. Okay, we finally did get the heart piece. Thank you for the knowledge drop. The 50-50 point of distribution, which means a 50% chance for one, the median of it is between 5 and 6 chess games, yes. Unfortunately, just bad luck on both sides, but that's the first point of bad luck that Humbug has run into this run, so I'm sure he was expecting the other shoe to drop eventually. Uh-oh. Alright, well, one of the benefits to running 100% is that you do have a bunch of extra health, so taking a hit from that grasshopper isn't as detrimental as it normally would be in an any percent run where you wouldn't have 11 hearts. It just cost him a bomb and a good chunk of time. I don't remember the actual name of the green enemies upstairs, but I just call them grasshoppers because they look like grasshoppers. So Humbug picking up a fairy here. He wants to use that fairy later, after Ice Palace, but a good safety to have when he's only at 5 hearts here. A lot of things in this dungeon do 2 hearts of damage. So at this point in 100%, you've got a bunch of hearts. You're not really in danger of dying, but taking a bunch of hits from enemies can lose you a lot of time. So you still have to be fairly clean with your execution in order to get good times. Alright, very nice blind script. If anybody was unaware, blind is a scripted fight. So that's a meme in the Link to the Past community, but it is true. If you do the same movements in the blind fight every single time, you should get the same results. So that's how that fight was so clean on Humbug's side, and why he wasn't really in much danger. And we'll see Owase's blind script as well. Yeah, so we are playing on the vanilla ROM. We have to mash some text. About, I think it's 45 seconds worth in Thieves Town. Somebody in chat asked before, when do we get the sword upgrades? And the answer to that is right now. So here we save the frog, but we're gonna take him on a little adventure first. He's gonna help us. So we're gonna dash through these hammer pegs, and he's just gonna provide some moral support. He's gonna tell us that we can do it, and we're doing great. and then we'll take him home. So the way this works here is that you have to turn in the blacksmith in order to get the purple chest to appear, but you don't necessarily have to collect the sword yet. What we're going to do is drop off the sword, and after you drop off the sword, you're required to transition the screen until once, and then they will be done with your sword, and they will be done tempering it. However, we have some chores to do in this part of the world, so we're going to use this warp here as our screen transition. Grab this chest, we're going to jump down, and we're going to visit this grumpy bat. Now, what this bat is going to do, we're gonna sprinkle some powder on it. He doesn't like that, so what he's going to do is he's going to put a curse on us. So the translation of this text that he's going to give you is, "Ra, how dare you, blah blah blah, I'm gonna curse you, and now your magic power will drop by half," is the translation of that. That's a bit of a pun that the writers put in. So what the player is supposed to think is, oh, I only have half of the amount of magic power now, when in reality, every time you use an item, your magic drops by half of the amount that it used to drop by. So yeah, that it's actually a benefit to the player that's hidden within the text. So now we're all maxed out on swords. Now we go and get our bottle. Sorry, we're not all maxed out on swords. We've gotten the sword, the tempered sword. And now we go get this bottle. Now we're all equipped to fight him off. So one thing I appreciate about 100% is that until we get into Turtle Rock, there aren't really any deviations for the dungeons. So almost all of the things that the additional things that you need are just overworld things that you have to find a good spot to get to. Right, so here comes another bomb jump on Humbug's side. So bombs usually boost you across 2 tile-wide pits. There are setups that you can do to get it to be a little longer, but basically any 2 tile-wide pit is bomb jumpable. Yeah, someone in chat mentioning their crystal order. So we actually are not going to see Swamp Palace until we're actually going to do Swamp Palace last, because since we need the gold sword and silver arrows, and Swamp is the closest to the Pyramid Fairy, we're going to save Swamp for last. It'll make us miss the hook shot a little bit, but it's worth it in the end. Alright, here comes the Moth. Just as much of a jerk as she ever is, but at least you're in a bit less danger of dying. Yeah. Yep, this certainly is one of the Moth fights of all time. Uh-oh. Well, he does have a fairy for backup, but oh boy, yeah. Okay, well, taking a death on Moth here will allow Awase to catch up a little bit. Ain't that always the way? You always die on the last hit of Moth, and wow, very nice fight. A one spike fight there by Awase. Moth, please. Alright, so now we're both mashing text at the same time. This ended up being a fairly close race, despite the RNG shenanigans. Yeah, so Humbug spent 42 seconds on the Mothula fight. Awase only about 11 or 12. So that's how Awase caught up so much. All right, this is another split where it mimics any percent fairly closely. There is one huge thing though. There is a heart piece after you get the flippers off of Zora. There's a heart piece on Zora's ledge. If you do not collect this heart piece right now, you need to go all the way back through Zora's screen and jump off the waterfall to get it. There's no better place, or there's no better place to get this, and there's no like recovery option. You need to get this now, or your run's basically just like your PB is just out of reach at that point. So hopefully the runners don't forget. It's very easy for muscle memory to just take over here. And yeah, we're just past the hour mark of this run. Go ahead and give our runners a follow, Humbug and Awase. Thank them for racing, putting on a show for us. Hopefully they get some better RNG in their next run. And I did mention before, but Season 11 of NMG League is about to start. The races will begin, I believe, on the 1st of December. So keep paying attention to the ZSR family of channels if you like what you're seeing, because you're about to see a lot more of it over the next 3 weeks. Alright, we're in Ice Palace. Oop. Little trip up there getting the key on Owase's side. This dungeon is a lot comfier on 13 hearts than it is on the normal. I believe you have 9 hearts when you enter this in any percent. Very, very well done room there by Humbug. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that strat that Oase just used. So he took damage from the berry in order to boost himself downwards and put himself into iframes so that he could stand in the bomb explosion and fall faster. Go down a pixel, no! Oh, okay. Alright. Second first try. Oh, Humbug realizing that he has sword beams and doing the backup for the penguin lineup room. Very nicely done. Oh no. Alright, so what Humbug tried to do there, and hopefully what Oase is going to show, is there's a way to clip into that staircase. Unfortunately, Humbug released his spin a little bit too early and ended up inside of the staircase, which actually does damage you. You actually do take damage from stairs if you try to clip through and fail. Alright, on to Cold Stare. A lot less scary. I wonder... Okay, I think Humbug's just gonna do the normal strat. Yeah, they're both just gonna do poke strats like you would in any percent. There is a 100% specific strat. Oh no. I missed one of the puffs. There is a 100% specific strat that hopefully over some of the next races we'll be able to see, but neither runner choosing to do that, just going with what they're comfortable with. Welcome in, Raiders. This is ZeldaSpeedRuns, and yeah, so for the Raiders and anybody else just joining the road so far, Humbug got 0 blue balls and 1 dig game, but unfortunately got stuck in chess game for quite a while. Oase got 4 blue balls and 2 dig games and was also stuck in chess game for quite a while, but not quite as long as Humbug. And Humbug took a death on Moth. Fortunately had a fairy, so didn't lose too much time, but yeah, lost about 30 seconds in that fight, which allowed Oase to come back, and now we're on the same screen, so we've got a race. And both runners need to be really, really careful to not take damage here. Humbug, I believe, is probably just going to try to farm for a fairy. One thing I somewhat know about Humbug is he doesn't watch races while he's racing, so he doesn't know whether he's ahead or behind right now. Okay, he's just throwing caution to the wind here, and alright, so need all 14 of your hearts to get past these spikes. And no, okay. Alright, we got it. Now, a pretty cool interaction here. You you do your super speed, turn on your cane, and you get out of here. And this is coming up is one of the cooler things that I really like about the Hundo route. We've actually been setting this up for the entire run. So we do this cave, we damage down to 1 heart, reclimb the mountain, and then read the tablet to get ether. And our next dungeon is Misery Mire. But before we go to Misery Mire, we are going to get a heart piece, and as you probably just saw on one of the runner's menus, we were at 3 heart pieces, which the 4th heart piece will then refill all of our hearts. So that's a really, really cool thing about how we route Hundo. All right. You're opening mire and flashing the lights. How was the digging chest RNG? So Humbug got 1 dig game, but a couple dozen chest games. Oase had to do 2 dig games, but a bit fewer chest games. Still a lot though. The chest game was really mean to both runners. And then Oase has just slowly caught up from there. We had a bit of a snafu and moth on Humbug's side, which allowed Oase to take a bit of a lead. But they're only about 1 room apart, so and there's still a lot of the run left. Like it's ooh, okay, Humbug skipping the magic refill. I mean, technically you don't need it, but it will save time on the refill screen after Vitreous. Ooh, Wase winning the Spark Gamble, very nice. Oh, you hate to see that. Yeah, unfortunately, when that Fire Snake goes low like that, you can't really do that strat very effectively. I said before, we do miss the hook shot in some rooms, and this is definitely one of them, because you have to charge at that Wizrobe, and if you charge at the wrong time, you take damage like Humbug just did, and Wizrobes hurt. I think they do 4 hearts of damage. Alright, so coming up on spooky action, if anybody doesn't know what we did was we set Link's altitude value to a certain value, so that when the fire rod damage splashes, it wraps around the screen and it hits an off-screen crystal switch, so that we can skip a few rooms or make a few faster in the case of Spooky 3. Okay. Very nicely handled on Owase's side. Pug took a bit of a wonky step, but seems to have survived the fight as well. I think Humbug was trying to do the faster high health strat in Vitreous, so you can save, like, I think it's 16 frames by going diagonally into the goo, but you risk taking a hit from an eyeball. Well, I'll say stop this timer instead of splitting it. That's unfortunate. Okay. We recovered. Alright, so now we go to the checkerboard cave, and you can probably see why we call it that. Now we're headed to Swamp Palace, but we are gonna take a bit of a divergence along the way. Because there is a Bombos medallion on a tablet nearby that we need to get to, and that kind of changes how you're gonna do the swamp dam screen. So normally when you warp, you're gonna see the runners try to get on certain pixels to get what are called quick warps, and quick warps save about 34 frames over a regular warp. So, and we warp a lot, especially in this category. So 34 frames on every single one is very, very hefty amount of time save. But the quick warp pixels depend on where the camera is panned to, and since you're coming to swamp from the left instead of from the top, your camera is in a different position, so your quick warp pixel has changed. There you're gonna see Oase take a warp here on the left side of the dam instead of about 3/4 of the way to the right. So that's our quick warp pixel. And Humbug leaving the portal a little further down, that's because we need to get a heart piece. The optimal place to get it is before the dungeon, but if you accidentally walk into your warp, it's not exactly run over. You can just mirror and grab it later. And it's a bit safer to put it pretty low. Alright, here we go into Swamp. So after Swamp, this is our 6th crystal, so we're gonna collect everything else from the non-mountain overworld, and before we go up to Turtle Rock. So this is one of the sequences that is Hundo exclusive. You won't see this in any other run, and it's really, I think it's really cool how you just kind of connect the dots and follow the item locations to each other. And there's some neat strats that you're gonna see too, to kind of take advantage of the game mechanics. I'm sorry, I don't know what New Mirror Walk is, but I assume that has something to do with where Oase mirrored versus Humbug. Oh no. Yeah, so that lever is harder than it looks. Like optimally, you wanna start walking while it's moving into position, before it fills the water up, which will obviously save you some movement. Unfortunately, you have to time that. Like you have to push the lever for the required amount of time, and it's very easy to just go early because you're anticipating that you need to be moving. so neither runner needs rupees. If you watch more of the 100% races that are coming up within the next 3 weeks, you may see people do some backup rupee strats here in Swamp. But since we were stuck in chess game for 3 minutes each, we are very rich on both sides. Alright, Wase doing a hook dash, but unfortunately pressed the A button too soon. Let's see how Humbug does this. So you do a hook dash there to put Link into hook speed state, which will prioritize when you grab for something. It'll prioritize the pot over the statue, so you don't have to grab for the pot and fumble around and look foolish. Alright, we'll see. Oh, out and back in. Alright, we'll see if we can pull off Zero Cycle Arguses here. Okay, wow, he started that way far back. Okay, nice Zero Cycle there. And a bit of a change from any percent. We're just going to spin Argus twice here because we want to stay on the hook shot for after Swamp. Unfortunately, Humbug dropped his sword, so it's going to be a 1 cycle. Although this, I mean, this is a very hard strat, so you'll see a lot of people flub it, especially if you watch me run. Alright, so we're going to run over to Hylia Island, and we're going to see the first little taking advantage of the game mechanics thing. So on Hylia Island, there are 3 things. There is a heart piece, a bush, and a pickle. Or a buzz blob, but they look like dancing pickles. So what you're going to see, hopefully both runners do, is they're going to set up on a certain pixel so that when you use the mirror, so if you use the mirror and there's something in the light world that will block Link from moving, then it will mirror bonk you back. So we're gonna take advantage of that game mechanic. Oh no, we were too far to the right. We'll see if Humbug can pull it off, but we're going to try to take advantage of that game mechanic to mirror bonk, and what that will do is it will skip the iframes that Link has. So Link has iframes after you mirror. There we go. But this will instantly mirror Link back, whereas Oase had to wait for those iframes to run out and had to wait for the portal to be able to accept Link again. Alright, going for the hobo. Here's our last bottle. And now we're going to hop out and backtrack a little bit because we need to go get a big red bomb. So this is a really cool thing that Oase is going to do here. It's called a bomb dupe. So normally you would have to go all the way around the right side to get to the pyramid to drop off the bomb and have it explode. But what Oase is going to do here, he's going to mirror on a certain frame, and that will duplicate the red bomb sprite, so the game still thinks that Link has the red bomb. So now you can just go through the Yaga portal and save a bunch of screens. I think it's like 3 screens. And as you can see, on both sides, they used the hook shot and then dashed in order to be able to dash with the big bomb following them. So you might have seen this in randomizer, but so yeah, that's just a mechanic that you can do. It's a very nice movement mechanic. Okay, and we're purposely throwing in the sword first here, just because that's the one that you actually have to menu to. So now for the second text box, you can just mash through because the first available item is this a hacked ROM? No, this is the vanilla Japanese 1.0 version of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So yeah, and if you're used to Link to the Past randomizer, normally there's 2 chests in that room. But in vanilla game, you have to throw things into the fountain. The fairy asks you, "Hey, I found this in my fountain. Did you throw it?" And you tell her yes, and she's like, "I like your honesty. I will give it to you back. I will give you something better in return." And she upgrades your sword and your silver arrows. There is another fountain like that behind Zora's Waterfall that will upgrade your boomerang into the red boomerang and your fighter shield into the red shield. And in both fairy fountains, you can throw in an empty bottle and they will fill it with I think it's only green potions in vanilla. I think Oase mirror bunked. Is that what happened? Accidentally put his... Yeah, what's the Monty Python thing? Women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. So Humbug is going to keep the cape on for this whole thing. He has to be a little bit careful because you do need a little bit of magic. I think that's enough. I think he has enough magic. You do need a little bit to open Turtle Rock. Alright, and that's our final heart piece that's off the mountain. Now we just have to go get the ice rod to fill our menu. And of course, menuing in this category is impossible because you have 50,000 items. I've seen some runners run a tracker that's usually used for randomizer off to the side to let them know what their menu looks like, so they know how to menu to stuff. I don't think either of these runners are doing that. I think they just kind of know where they're headed. Right, up to Turtle Rock. So as you can see, we're at 18 hearts. We have 2 heart pieces. There's 1 heart piece that we're gonna get on the way through Turtle Rock, and then 1 we're gonna get after Turtle Rock, and then Trinex's heart will make 20. So that is bits. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, so that did end up being enough magic. I was secretly kind of hoping that it wasn't, because we would have gotten to see something really cool that you can do even in NMG to refill some magic. Yeah, yeah, but you can Samaria refill. That's what I was referring to. Oh, I'll say just using Cane of Burna for that room instead of... If you don't have enough to Samaria. Well, yes, okay. So Super Bunny Cave is a backup if you don't have enough magic even to Samaria, but Humbug had close to enough magic for a Quake, so that would not have been a problem for him. Ooh, nice triple B Brahmin Block Blast there by Oase. Neat little trick that you can do in the Chain Chomp's room that covers pretty much every RNG. I mean, you can still get blocked, as you saw, but yeah, it's a fairly neutral way to attack that room. Humbug making a liar out of me by posting in chat. I didn't know. I thought that he didn't watch races when he was on Restream, but apparently that was wrong. Alright, and this is our tiny little deviation from any percent. Normally, you don't want the mirror shield because it's big and it's ugly and it lags the game, but it's required in this category, so we gotta go get it. Plus, our next heart piece is also in Mimic Cave, which is just outside here, so go and grab those 2 things. Humbug picking up the 8-pack of bombs, which he's probably going to want to dump at some point. Or maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's just committed to thinking about menus for the rest of the run. Right, our second to last heart piece. It's still a really close race. We're only like 2 rooms apart here. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately getting that key dash is really, really tight if you use Cane of Samaria. I think it's still possible, but yeah, it's super tight. And also, Oase is at 5 hearts in a dungeon where everything does 3 or 4, and now he takes a knock from the roller. Oh boy, this is gonna be a sweaty laser skip.
I agree with that statement. It's not super worth it to try that K-dash. It's really hard, and it only really saves, like, a few frames. I want to say 15 to 20 frames. Alright, are we gonna see a safety door here? No. Oh boy. Okay, and we didn't use the mirror shield either. So, oh boy. Alright, very nice peg mace strat there by Oase. He did get the one heart. I think that's because he's dead to most things, but there is something in this room that does do one heart of damage, so if he accidentally runs into that, then he's not completely dead. Looked a little slow. Okay, still got the zero cycle, which is fantastic, and an easy zero cycle there from Humbug as well. Giving Trinex the business a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so normally you can see normally you would see the runner's menu to hookshot here, but the next thing that they need is actually bombs. So they're gonna forego the hook speed here to exit Turtle Rock. Oh, okay. I believe the two people that are better than me at this game in chat saying that the menuing to hooked is just as fast. So you can do either. Which it's good to have a variety of strats. Alright, 36-51 splits for Oase. I don't think Oase's timer is correct. Or I don't think one of their timers is correct. Because it looks like, according to their timers, they split 7 seconds apart. But they're definitely more than 7 seconds apart. I'm being told to time things myself. Oh no! Alright, everybody shame Oase for having his sword out here. So optimally, you do it like Humbug does. You drop the sword, you get a pixel away from the tower, and then you don't get any lag frames. But now, unfortunately, Oase has... it's not very much time. It's just a funny little meme that we do. Alright, now we're in Ganon's Tower. Gonna be mostly as normal. Ooh, nice spike skip. Except, so... It's gonna be mostly normal, except we're gonna see some red boomerang strats. Which normally you would have the blue boomerang here. Is there a true hundo category where you have to open all chests? No. But if we get 2 people to run it, then we can contact the category extension boards, and they'll make a board for it. I know I've heard rumblings of some people routing it out, and how it would go. Yeah, it would be pretty hard to verify on the regular game because it doesn't have an item collection count. Alright, so Silver's Armos, this is okay. So Owase's not gonna do the strat that I like. Oh, he's gonna do some lag reduction strats. That's very nice. Humbug just doing something that mirrors any percent. And you can see how much slower the arrows were going. And very, very important for our runners to both get the red mail, because you really don't want to leave that down here. In my splits, the Yanis Tower split is just red mail in all caps, because I always forget to do this. Alright, now we get to climb with max equipment and max lag frames. The gauntlet is extremely laggy and 100%, and that's mostly because of all of the things you have on the HUD, rather than like silver sparkles or mirror shield or anything else that causes lag. Oh no! It's a Ganonball Z fall, but that allows Humbug to close the gap a little bit. Very nicely done room there for Humbug. Alphos being their normal selves, and we're in the same room. What an amazing race. Oh, almost. Are we going to see a hover from Humbug? That is a good question. I believe... I don't want to speculate. I know they both know how. I'm not sure that either one would want to do it in a race that's this close. I know Humbug's watching the stream. Owase maybe as well. Alright, and we get a lead change. We're still well into RNG territory here. That like if Humbug gets some bad RNG, Owase can overtake him. Wow, what a wonderful first showcase for this season of NMG League. I'm really glad we got to see this. Oh no. Humbug forgot he doesn't need the magic refill. That's some any percent brain leaking through there. Oh, is he gonna go for Jingle Skip? Oh no, okay. Owase takes the lead. Looked like Humbug wanted to try for Jingle Skip, but got the tink off the helmet mask. Owase tried for Jingle Skip, but did not get it. Oh, and here we go. We're gonna hover. We did it. And Humbug trying to match. Let's go. Double hovers. Alright, well, we still have a very mean pig that likes to warp a lot, and I mean, Iga 2 has some RNG to it as well. So this race is far from over. Alright, nice 2 hits there for Owase, and these patterns are kind of horrible. Oh, man, I love the lag on that blue ball when it was exploding. Oh my, that was incredible. All right. Owase out of Aga 2 first, but Humbug hot on his heels. I mean, this is within Warp RNG range. Oh, Owase clipping out, but not finishing the trick, so he does not get disqualified. Yeah, so there's a pixel that you can hit in the Aga 2 arena that if you dash on it, then you will escape. You will go out of bounds and escape the room, which you can use in major glitch categories to save a little bit of time. It's not allowed in NMG. He's just flexing that he can do it. All right. So, nice one-on-ones on both sides. Let's see how the warp luck... Owase did have some good warp luck, and now he's running into a few bad cycles. Okay, Owase on to phase 4. Ooh, just missed the torch glitch, but that's fine. We don't necessarily need it. 1, 2, and 3. That's an exploding pig. Get your GGs in chat for Owase. And he will be followed very shortly by Humbug here. It's going to be a fanfare snipe. Wow, what a heater. And alright, so I've been informed that we're not going to be able to show bottles because we would have to wait too long. Alright. We will see if they would like to do an interview. I think... I am trying to figure out how interviews work here so we can invite them. Yeah, but solid runs on both sides. Looks like Humbug counted 17 chess games, and I'm sure Owase had at least that many as well, so
Oh, neat. Wonderful. And we are joined by both of our runners, GG's.
Hey, GG's. Thank you. Hello?
So I guess we'll start with Humbug here.
Who thought racing Hundo was a good idea?
I mean, it is cool when you don't play terrible.
Right. It is. Which was the case for me up until chess game.
Yeah, you were on a heck of a run until you ran into that chess game wall. You were
playing
way ahead of your PB.
Yeah, I was 35 seconds ahead of my PB, and had I gotten the first chest, it would have been more than a minute ahead.
That's a nice base.
It was
what
a
is your,
stick pace,
what is your PB, by the way?
1:43.57, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been huge.
It would have been huge, but then we got 17, and I just lost the ability to play the game for 20 minutes.
Yeah, Wase, do you know what your chess game count was?
No, I don't. I don't really count my chess games unless it's like 2 or 3. I don't count.
Yeah,
but
it
had to be more than 10. It had to be more than 10. And I had 2 games.
Humbug had 17. I think you had
balls.
maybe slightly fewer, but yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like 17, maybe like 12 or something like that. And second try digging game and 4 blue balls.
Yeah, so and then Humbug, you used your fairy that you picked up on Moth, and then you didn't try for another one for Spike Cave. Did you? I guess you were watching the stream and you knew you were really close.
No. I did not watch the stream until Turtle Rock.
Okay.
I was like, fine. I just lost 3 minutes to chess game. I'll pick up a fairy in Thieves Town just to be sure that I can actually get to the end of the game. Then I used it on Moth in Hundo.
I almost died.
It was so tragic. Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Like I died on Moth.
Died on Moth and used the fairy.
Yeah. So I used the fairy and was like, well, all right, time to just do Spike Cave the way I usually do it. Funny thing, and this was obviously not translated into Restream whatsoever. I entered Spike Cave, and like when I had been in there for like 3 seconds, the battery in my earphones went out, so my earphones died, so the sound died.
Yeah.
And in Spike Cave, you use sound cues to know when to dash.
Yes.
So I was like, well, fuck.
I did see that you flubbed one of the dashes, but it wasn't bad enough that you weren't able to make it.
Right, but it was scary because I didn't know how. Like my third dash was short, but it was luckily not short enough so that I wouldn't make it. Phew.
And then Owase, let's talk about some top tier gaming. Down on 1 heart in Turtle Rock, and you don't even use the mirror shield for the laser.
Like at that point, I don't even care, dude. Like if I die,
yeah, I mean,
it's whatever. I just gotta go fast, man.
Yeah, and then of course in Ganon's Tower, you guys were like 2 rooms apart for basically the whole thing, and then there were a couple of lead changes, and then we got back-to-back hovers, which chat got really excited about. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
I wasn't even gonna do it. I just like even in my PB, I'm dashing towards Molder. I'm trying to fight him, and he was all the way to the right. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And I was doing the same thing here. I was dashing towards Molder. He was all the way to the right, and I was like, okay, I'm hovering, I guess.
Yeah, chat told me to hover, so I hovered.
I always ask my chat, but like nobody's always here, so I'm asking myself, am I gonna do it or not? And I usually decide in like pre-Torches 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was wondering how you would approach it, like in a race scenario. Do you have a plan? Like if I'm ahead, I'm not hovering or something like that.
Well, I don't know if I'm ahead. Like I don't really watch any restream
Okay.
or whatever. I just like for now I have decided that most of the time I have to do it because I want to have like a good Ganos Tower if I want either world record or a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And those 6 seconds help a lot. So I just you basically go for it every time. But if I'm really ahead and I have a really good Ganos Tower, I might not do it. Which is what I did in my NMG PV. I was super far ahead, and I had a really good Moldrum 2 entry, and I didn't go for the hover just because of that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So have either of you raced Hundo before?
Well, there hasn't
I
been
haven't,
like
basically.
any Hundo tournament ever. Like maybe like a random race here and there, which I have, but it's always just RNG fest everywhere.
This is my second race. I have no points.
Oh, I think a lot of people are going to be racing this for the first time here in League. But yeah, thank you both for putting on this show. Is there anything else y'all want to do? Y'all want to say before we wrap it up?
No, just thanks for the restream and thanks for solo comms, Sean.
Yeah, same. I was gonna
Good work,
say
sick
thank
work.
you for handling this yourself. And I'm sorry for having to make you watch bad gameplay, I guess.
That's sorted out with GT. I gotta shame you on air for that.
That wasn't
All right.
me,
Well,
folks.
have a wonderful day, everybody. I'm gonna shift it over to Trez.
Thank you all so much for being here. Big shout out to Cyclodia Silver for the commentary, and of course to AC and Humbug for racing. As said, we are moving close to the next iteration of the NMG League, which will feature Hundo as well. So be prepared for more NMG Hundo in the next few weeks. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.